Pointless or necessary? I'm talking about the new Acqua Di Gio Absolu, this right here. I'm gonna tell you all about it, coming right up. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is Sebastian with Smelling Great Fragrance Reviews. If this is your first time on this channel and you love watching fragrance reviews and still haven't subscribed to this channel, please click the subscribe button below and also click the bell so you'll be notified for future videos and giveaways. So I recently picked up this new flanker, or whatever you call it, update or remix or remake of the original Acqua Di Gio from 1996 on my trip to Italy. And I kind of got conned into it, I guess, because when I smelled it, I had already smelled a lot of things. I didn't really experience the fragrance too well. But now that I've been testing it out, as you can see, I've been using it a lot. The more I wear it, the more I hate it. It smells really, really generic. That's the word. Now, I want to tell you a little story. I was originally a big fan of the original Acqua Di Gio, this one right here. This is the original that came out in 1996. I wore a ton of it, and I loved it back in 1997. I think that's the first time I wore it, but this launched in 96, I think. I loved it, but over the years it had gotten reformulated and watered down and watered down and watered down, and I kind of like decided to dismiss the fragrance and just move on from it. A couple of years ago, I discovered the Absolu. This right here, which I'm totally in love with. I don't care what anybody says. This one's it's actually an excellent release from a designer. Last year they launched, this was actually last September, they launched this right here, the special blend. So I find them to be very, very close. Perhaps some note things are changed around a little bit, but I find the Profumo and the Profumo special blend very, very close. So earlier this year when this was announced, I was very excited. I thought, okay, wow, what are they doing with it now? So that we had the Profumo from several years ago that I just discovered 2 years ago that I absolutely love. Then Special Blend came out that I also love, but I don't see much difference between the two. And this sounds really exciting. A sexy new bottle, beautiful, gorgeous, great looking color, kind of a woody cap, all that good stuff. But what have they done to the fragrance? What have they actually done? Because this smells like every other generic fragrance release out there that already exists, and I just can't tolerate this one. It smells very, very generic and cheap. I can't even pick up the original Acqua Di Gio in it, let alone smelling like Acqua Di Gio. I don't even know why they call it this, because it does not smell like this. Even the original doesn't smell like this. So this is 2018. The perfumer is Alberto, who has been the perfumer for all of these. And this 120 ml bottle sells for $130. So for notes, you have fruity notes, marine notes, woody notes, and Guatemala patchouli. Now I got these notes from Parfumo.net because Armani's website did not list the notes like specifically. They just kind of hinted at the notes. So I just had to make sure I get some specific notes, and these notes from Perfume were a little different compared to Fragrantica. So anyway, that's what I'm using. So it's really, really interesting because I really thought I would like this, especially for the fact that it had those fruity notes, but just really something in here just smells just boring, like generic, like every fragrance out there on the Macy's department store men's fragrance counter. It smells like that. It doesn't smell unique. There's nothing unique about it. There's nothing interesting about it. It's like, I can even hardly pick up the fruity notes, which according to Fragrantica, the fruity notes are pretty dominant. Just the fruity notes kind of stand out like this like generic synthetic fruits. So I'm really disappointed because I thought Armani was doing something great. They were doing something really cool with these two, even though I felt Special Blend, like I said, was a bit redundant. I felt like they were kind of going in the great direction of releasing great designer fragrances. But here we have this one. It's actually disappointing. I mean, I actually prefer this, the Eau de Toilette, over this. I just don't get this one. It is really, really redundant. It's Eau de Parfum concentration as well. So I thought it might be something more unique and interesting, but the only interesting thing about this is the bottle and the color of the juice. I quite like it, and I like the bottle, but other than that, this is not worth it. Not at all. It is such a, redundant flanker. I mean, not redundant in Armani's catalog, just redundant in the world of designer fragrances. It's like, why would Armani want to smell like every other designer fragrance out there with their own unique nuances when they can come up with something original for us to enjoy and wear? I mean, this has already been done before. For example, Invictus, guys. This is kind of sort of like that. And I cannot stand Invictus. It's one of my least favorite fragrances ever. So this really does remind me of that. But you know what this reminds me of also? I reviewed Robert Graham's 3 fragrances: Courage, Fortitude, and Valor. This is like a complete copy of Courage. And guess who the perfumer is? It's Alberto Morillas again. So he did Courage for Robert Graham. I don't have the bottle with me. I'll flash a photo of it. But he also did this, and they smell so close. The color of the juice is different. This is actually ambery colored, but the color of the juice in Courage is all silver. The notes are different, but when you put your nose to the bottles, it's like, wow, they are so identical. It's like, it doesn't make sense to me. It's just kind of disappointing, but that's my rant about this fragrance. I don't recommend it, and I love great fragrances. This is not a great fragrance. This is a disappointing release, and I thought the designers were going in the right direction, I'll say it again, but this is a step backwards. Don't copy other designer fragrances that don't smell great, because this does not. Do something original, come out with something original, because I'm bored of this fragrance and I will never wear it, ever. I'll continue wearing this one, even though I don't like this one as much as I like these two. These two rock, and these two, well, this one actually was featured in my top 20 designer fragrances video. Anyway, that is my video review for Acqua Di Gio Absolu. One more thing I wanted to also include, guys, I'm sorry, I don't speak Italian, so I kept calling this Acqua Di Gio because it says G-I-O, and G-I-O in English is Gio. So I'm sorry, I don't speak to Italians about Acqua Di Gio or Gio, but according to Italians, you are supposed to say Acqua Di Gio, not Gio. So finally, moving forward on this channel, you will not hear Acqua Di Gio, you will hear Acqua Di Gio, because this in Italian is Acqua Di Gio. Even though I'm speaking in English, I will pronounce it in Italian, Acqua Di Gio by Armani. Anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts on the pronunciation of Acqua Di Gio versus Acqua Di Gio, and also let me know in general, do you like Acqua Di Gio Absolu? Do you think it's a great release? Do you think it's redundant? Does it smell like any other fragrances out there? Do you have it? Do you want to get it? Do you not want to get it? Let me know all those things. Put a comment down. Let's get a conversation started. Also, please like this video. Please share it. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye.